Zero DTE options, what are these things? What do they mean? If you are a beginner and you're wondering, this will be a video for you. And on that note, if you are looking for some sort of deep mathematical dive into the equations and how all this works, this is not going to be a video for you. So I want to respect your time. But if you're a beginner and you're interested in trading options and you've seen zero DTE and you're not quite sure what they are, but you're interested in them from a very basic and beginner viewpoint, then this is definitely what I want to cover, because it's very quite simple. And now, yes, you can get into the weeds and make it as complicated as you want, but from a trading standpoint, there's really just a basic relationship that you need to understand, and that's what I want to cover in this video, and then also let you see what zero's DTE options look like in the real world of trading as I make $100 in less than 2 seconds, and I'll show you that here later in the video. But first, what are zero DTE options? How do they function? What is this key relationship and how does it work? Now, the first thing we need to understand to make this relationship and understand it work is we have this dynamic right here. And this dynamic here is representing time. So from now on, time is going to play a huge factor, because at the core, time is a huge function of options, because options are actually contracts. And like the vast majority of contracts, there's going to be a time element, right? Think about any contract you've ever entered into. Usually there's a date where you sign your name. And in many cases, this goes to a certain future date. So for example, think about your cell phone bill, right? That is a contract. You are starting a contract on certain date, and then it says at this date, either you're going to renew or you're going to be able to cancel. So there's some sort of start date and end date with the contract. And like I said, best example would be a cell phone or Netflix or something like that. So we've all partaken in contracts that have time frames, and options are no different. Options are contracts, and these contracts have a big time component in terms of when the contract starts and when the contract ends, or in options terminology, when the contract expires. So though in this situation, for example's sake, let's just say that the contract starts, and with this options contract, there are 100 days. And then over here, when you get to this part, this is the expiration. So as you've already used that terminology, that would be expiration. The contract is over. Now there is another key dynamic here that it's going to explain how these zero DTE options work, and that is volatility. So volatility, we're just going to call V. And the dynamic and the way it works is this. As time goes closer and closer to expiring, volatility does this. Volatility increases. So by the time you get to zero, meaning it is at expiration, there is no tomorrow, right? At 1 DTE, you would say, well, there's one more day left. At 0 DTE right here, there are no more days left. There is no more tomorrow. So right there is 0 days till expiration. And then when you correspond that with the volatility, you get the idea. The volatility is going to be very, very crazy. So at the core, that's what zero DTE is all about. Volatility. How fast do you want these option contract values to be jumping all over the place? The further out you are, then the less volatile, the less they're going to be jumping around. But the closer you get to that expiration date, and then on that day where there is no more tomorrow, they are going to be very, very volatile. Those prices are going to be snapping all around. So let me show you just how fast a zero DTE option can move. So here we are looking at one of my live trade videos, and I have an entire playlist where I record myself trading live. So if you like what you see here, then you can watch. I mean, I have hundreds of them at this point, but that is where this is coming from. But I want to explain a couple things and then show you in real time just how fast zero DTE options can trade. So this is a zero DTE option. There is no more tomorrow. And the way my screen works is right here. I've thrown an order out to try to purchase an option contract for $19.20. Now, I'm not going to get into the math of it all. In fact, I'll put a link down below if you want more of the basics of options, but just $19.20 is what I am looking to purchase 2 contracts for. And it's white, meaning I have submitted that order to the market. Now, when this changes green, that means that I've bought the $19.20, but I will immediately throw in another order. So here you're going to see another order that once again turns out to be white. And that white order represents the fact that I have submitted it to the market, but I have not yet been able to sell those contracts. So right now it's white because I have not bought, but when that turns green, that means I have bought. And then you will see a new white order that represents, have I been able to sell yet? And as long as that order remains white, I have not sold. But if it turns green, that means I have sold. So that is how it's going to work. And let's just get the video playing and you'll see just how fast this all happens. So price comes down. So just wait. Green or white means not bought. Green on my in, out. And that right there led to a $100 gain. You can scroll back and count, but you'll see 1,001, 1,002. That all happened in less than 2 seconds. I bought, and then I was able to sell in less than 2 seconds, which equated to $100 in profit. Now, I need to offer up a very, very important disclosure here. Yes, that was awesome. $100 in under 2 seconds is pretty mind-blowing. But if you're not careful, if you don't show options in general, and especially zero DTE options respect, they can rip your face off too. So I don't want this to come across like this is some sort of holy grail. That's not my intent. My intent is just to explain and show what zero DTE options are. So I don't want you to go off from here and think, oh wow, this is gonna be easy. I'm gonna just start making $100 in 2 seconds. That's not the intent here. The intent is to show you just how volatile these things are and how they're so jumpy to the point where you can get these sorts of results because of the volatility. But again, volatility cuts both ways. If you're not careful, if you're not managing risk, and you're wrong about a trade, then yeah, things can go against you very quickly too. So just keep that in mind. But zero DTE options at the core, if you're looking for something very volatile to trade, then this is something that you may want to consider. But again, please, you better make sure that you know how to manage that risk. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a quick explanation. Again, the closer you get to that contract expiring, the more volatile the options contracts get. And depending on what sort of volatility levels you're looking for in your trading, then zero DTE options might be something that helps you out. So again, hope this helps. If you have any ideas or questions for future videos, let me know down below. If you have any questions on this specifically, again, let me know in the comment section. Hit that like button, check out the channel as a whole. And if you like what you see, then I'd love to have you as a subscriber. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.